Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
93% of Pennsylvanians killed in a car crash while unbelted could have survived if they just buckled up. One simple click, a second of your time. It's the difference between making it home to your loved ones or not making it home at all. Whether you're a driver or a passenger, make the life-changing choice to wear a seatbelt. Every drive, every time. It's not just the law, it's common sense. Buckle up, PA. Learn more at pendot.pa.gov/safety.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
You're listening to 1490 WBCB and on your FM dial at 107.3 W297CL Levittown.
Good morning, race fans, and welcome to Yardley, Pennsylvania.
We're here once again on Wide Open Wednesday. Here are your hosts, Fred Fletcher and Nick Leach.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Wide Open Wednesday.
Yep, and we're wide open, and a little drizzly out there. Track's going to be a little slick on the way home, so be careful out there while you're listening to us here. We got Stone Cold Steve at the controls with us here, and we got sponsors for the show now. We got all kind of good things happening, kind of big announcements. We got 3 super guests that are going to be with us here today, Fred. I got to push the race car in. I haven't pushed a race car in Lord knows how long. So, yeah, Fred, we got a pretty good show lined up here today.
I'm glad you pushed my race car in because I got tired of pushing by myself. And my race car does run, so don't get the wrong idea.
No, that wasn't bad.
It's more effort to get in and out of it right at this point. So.
Yeah, but we'll figure all that out too. Yeah. I think what we need to do is mention our sponsors. And Fred, you know the one sponsor, and I know the other sponsor. So go ahead and tell everybody the sponsor that you know, and then I'll tell them the other one. How's that?
All right. This Wide Open Wednesday is brought to you in part by Sage Chiropractic. So I've known Kerry and Mike about 15 years. They're up on 123 North Sycamore Street up in Newtown. They're a husband and wife team, chiropractic team. Fantastic. Mike's the one that gives you I shouldn't say it, the adjustments or back cracking, and Kerry gives you the Reiki type one where it's a real light touch, and a lot of people think that's crap, but no, it works between the two of them. So give them a call, make an appointment, tell them you heard us on the Wide Open Wednesday, and they'd be happy to take care of you. And their number is 215-497-0700. Yeah, get it all straight. I'm actually, I just said before he came on air, I'm going to give him a call because I need to get straightened out myself in more ways than one.
He just wants to get his back cracked. That's all he wants.
I do.
So, him being a mechanic, and he told me today he wasn't crawling under my truck to see why my rear was leaking. So, but we got Sage Chiropractor. We also got Mr. Bob's Portable Toilet, Bob Drayton Incorporated. Bob, of course, is a good friend of mine. Him and his wife, Sherry, always supporting me, and they've been supporting me all along through the debacle I've been going through all year. But Mr. Bob's Portable Toilets, they have containers, and they have a septic service. Their phone number is 609-859-3629. They've been in business for 55 years. So they've been taking crap for 55 years, gang.
That's a lot of crap.
That's a lot of crap. And, what I used to say at the racetrack for them was whatever you eat, they got a seat. And when it hits the fan, he's your man. Of course, Bob and his son race 4-cylinders at New Egypt and Bridgeport. And we appreciate them coming on board and being with us.
Yes.
Also, we got to appreciate our girl, Kate Brown, who has went above and beyond for us with all of our cheat sheets. And big news is we're going to go to motorsports this year. So Fred's going to have his car on display in the vintage area of motorsports. When you first walk into the show, we'll be there. We'll be doing some live broadcasts. We'll be doing all kinds of stuff, giving stuff away, interviewing drivers, doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
we'll have a lot of Fletcher swag and some Wide Open Wednesday swag and all kinds of swag.
Yep, and I'll beat Kyle and Kenny up and get us some Maple Grove swag. Of course, Maple Grove is another one of our sponsors, and I appreciate the Koretsky family taking care of us. We tried to give away some Keystone Trucking Nationals tickets last week, but nobody bid on that. So come on, gang, you're part of this show too. You're what's going to make this work. So make sure that if you want to get involved, you can call us or you can text us, and we'll answer the questions the best we can. Do we got a call already? Earl. Of course we have Earl. Earl, what's going on?
Hey, good evening. Good to hear you guys as always.
Good to hear you, Earl. What's happening? Anything good?
Thank you. I'm glad to hear. Of course, you're going to be at the Motorsports Show. That's good news. We talked about that last week. And hey, it's going to be good to have the famous Fletcher car right there, anchoring the show. That'll be good.
Yeah, we're going to have fun with that. And, I come to the Motorsports Show every year anyhow, so now I have a different purpose to come there with Fred and show Fred the ropes of the Motorsports Show. There's a lot of interesting things that happen at Motorsports, and now we're going to be a part of it, so that ought to be pretty cool.
Be even more interesting.
Well, Nick, I'll have to ask you, of course, as an announcer myself, I'll ask the question this time. How was the Trucking Nationals there at Maple Grove?
Well, the Trucking Nationals is always fun because a lot of the trucks that go down Maple Grove's drag strip, I say take a trip down our strip. A lot of them trucks that go down the drag strip are guys that I see every day working that are hauling stone, and they're regular trucks that guys drive. They take the time to shine them up and come down the drag strip. A new thing that Kyle added this year, and Kenny and the Koretsky family, they had a burnout contest where trucks could go in and do burnouts, and whoever did the best burnout, New York Diesel put up $1,000 for the burnout contest, and the big trucks were actually doing burnouts in circles, and
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to see what they could, what them big trucks can do and doing burnouts. But yeah, we had a lot of trucks. We had a lot of people. It's a lot of fun with Englishtown not having, the Diesel Trucking Nationals anymore because they don't run anymore. They decided, because we're in the trucking business, besides Maple Grove, they decided to have the Keystone Trucking Nationals at Maple Grove.
Oh, that's great. Now, I saw them, the Diesel Trucking Nationals, when they were at Englishtown years ago, and it was pretty neat to see. So I'm glad it's a success now at Maple Grove.
When I first started working for the Koretskys the very first year, I went to Englishtown for the Diesel Trucking Nationals because they had all their equipment on display at Englishtown. So,
okay. Yep.
They do whatever they need to do to make it happen for the fans. The week before was the Nationals with the NHRA, and we had a blast with that. And every weekend there's something different there. And Kyle being a racer himself, and Kenny has a racing truck that he races. He has a Peterbilt that he takes down the drag strip, and he got a chance to do that this weekend again. So yeah, they're fully involved, and to have a family that's in the racing, kind of like the Grosso family that are into racing, own a racetrack, it just makes it 10 times better.
Right, absolutely.
Well, you have the same deal at Wall with the Kraus family.
Racing together.
Yep,
whether it's oval track, drag racing, whether we're all together, and got to promote the sport.
Yeah, and you have the same thing with the Kraus family. They own the racetrack, but their son races, so he knows what needs to be done to make that work. So that makes it work.
That's it, exactly. Yes.
What do we got going on at Wall this week?
Well, speaking of Wall, this is our final night of the regular season. Of course, we have our big Turkey Derby, Thanksgiving weekend, 51st annual. But this Saturday night wraps up the regular season, and we're going to crown all of our point champions. We'll back it up a week. Last Saturday night, the limited late models, they will not be on the program this week. Their last scheduled race was last Saturday night, and that was kind of cool. A driver named Pat Brown won the feature. Probably 20 years ago or so, he raced in the legend cars back then, and he won a feature. And this year, His son, Ethan Brown, is a very fine driver in the limited late models. But this year he's away. He won on opening night for the limited late model division, and then he went away to college, and he's still in college now. So his dad Pat got back behind the wheel this season, and this past Saturday night, Pat Brown, the dad, won the limited late model feature, first time he'd ever won in the division.
Wow!
And it was quite a celebration. And behind him, Brian Doyle, who races out of Long Island and is actually a very good friend of the Brown family. Brian Doyle, who was a previous 3-time champion at Wall Stadium in the limited late models, came back this year to run at Wall. Normally he runs at Riverhead Raceway in Long Island, but this year he came back to race at Wall, and he won his 4th track championship. That was kind of cool. So this Saturday night, all of our regular divisions will crown the champions, and it's very close in the modified division between Andrew Krause, who you mentioned, and who's a 3-time champion in the modifieds, and Derek Hopkinson, who Fred met when he was at the track this summer. We call him D-Hop. He was last year's modified champion. So this year, again, it's double points on the final night, and Derek Hopkinson and Andrew Krause are within maybe 10 points of each other for the title. Derek is the point leader going in. Andrew is only 10 points behind him. So it's going to be settled this Saturday night, so it should be quite exciting.
Awesome. So, trying to see what else is going on down there. Any kind of fun things going on, like for the families, or it's just strictly racing this week?
Pretty much strictly racing. The Midway will be active as always. We'll have our usual bounce house for the kids, and the arcade games are there. The usual every Saturday night activities. Last Saturday night we had the superheroes walking around, the Marvel superheroes. So that was a lot of fun. The kids had a great time. But this Saturday night, pretty much, the concentration is on crowning the champions, and which is neat. In Victory Lane, we'll interview the winners of the race, of course, but we'll also have the champions there. So if the champion doesn't win the race, the champion will pull in the Victory Lane as well and be interviewed. And Nick, I know you know what that's all about. Jeff Gravatt handles our Victory Lane for us. Gary Larson and I are up in the booth, and Jeff does all the Victory Lanes. So he'll be quite busy talking to the feature winners as well as the champions. And
I talked
to
great
Jeff
night
this
for the
week,
fans as well.
To him. Jeff texted me this week and asked me about Maple Grove and what was going on with the other venue that I worked at. And me and Jeff had a nice chat this week, girl.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, Jeff's a great guy. He's been part of the Wall Stadium family forever, as long as I have. So.
Yep. Well, I know you'll be calling tomorrow morning, so we'll continue our conversation tomorrow morning. What do you think?
We'll look forward to it. Okay.
Okay.
And also now that we know that there's a bounce house down there, Nick wants to go.
Yeah, I want to come to the bounce house. Do you get me in on that?
All right. Sounds good.
All right, Earl.
All right. We'll talk to you
Thanks
tomorrow.
for calling. We appreciate it.
Gentlemen, keep up the great work, and let's keep promoting the sport.
All
Absolutely.
Right.
Thanks, Earl. We got another
Take care,
call,
guys.
Steve.
See ya.
All right, who we got on the line now?
Simmons, what's going on?
Ryan Simmons. Now, this guy. Okay. I know how hard. Now, we have Ryan Simmons, who is the 602 Crate Sportsman Champion at New Egypt. I know how hard you and your father worked to get this championship, but I have one question I got to ask you first before we get into all this, Ryan. How is your sister doing?
She's good. She was there Saturday night walking around, so she's getting better. She can finally walk around, not need a wheelchair, so she should be good hopefully in about a month or two.
Well, see, that's your good luck charm, see? That she helped you win the championship at New Egypt. I'm sorry I wasn't there to be able to interview you and shake your hand and give you a big hug. We've been friends for a long time. Your father and I grew up in the sport. I watched you grow up in the sport. I knew it was only going to take a matter of time before you became the driver that you are. You're only going to get better. You've been traveling around, learning some stuff. You got to feel pretty good, Rye, about winning this championship. It's your first one. I don't think it's going to be your last one.
I sure hope not. I mean, it took a long time. I mean, we've been close so many times, and I mean, I think we finished second in the points, 3 or 4 times over the years, and multiple thirds where we had a chance to go in and win it, or we were the point leader and wrecked, and something, we fell down the standings on the final night. So I think in total we figured out it was 7 times throughout the years that we've had a chance to go win a championship and just couldn't get it done for whatever reason happened. But so just to be able to finally do it feels really good. It's just something now I don't have to worry about and stress about moving forward because it's kind of just off your plate, and now you can just go focus on winning. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't just focus on winning pretty much every week.
Right.
I think in years past I was too conservative. You get into the mindset of you don't want anything bad to happen. But I think this year I just kind of went for the win and said, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And, luckily it worked out for us.
Well, you're a fan favorite. I mean, New Egypt is your home track. You've been racing there forever. When we all started out this thing in 1998, I always bring this up, and I know you don't like it when I do, but you were one of my New Egypt Speedway dancers, you and Joey Vella, and there was 3 years, and you just kind of grew into it as I grew into it. And, it's pretty neat to see you and your dad, how you guys work together, and you got sponsors over the years, and it's a very well-deserved thing for you. I like when you travel. I like to watch you on TV when I'm sitting home. And Ryan, you've come a long way. You've worked your asses off, you and your father, and done the things that you needed to do. A lot of people know you, but there's a lot of people that are listening now don't know you and who you are and your background, that your grandfather was the main guy at East Windsor. Jack Simmons, Big Jack, I used to call him Uncle Jack. He was the big guy with the glasses. You seen him in the infield. You seen him up in the tower at Windsor. That was your grandfather. And he's looking down at now and saying, hey, it all goes full circle. Here's my grandson. He's won a championship at New Egypt. And I know if Uncle Jack was still around, he would be really proud of what you've done.
Yeah, I think that's the coolest thing is a lot of people recognize me from that, and a lot of people, know me from my dad. We were heavily rooted in East Windsor. So, I was able to grow up there for a few years. I mean, I was really young, but when they shut down. But, I grew up really at New Egypt. I mean, you saw me in the stands, and I would be playing with the toy cars with Joey and Sean and, whoever else. And, so I think it's really cool. I mean, I always kind of knew, I just wanted to race. I never got to do the quarter midgets or the micro sprints. I just hopped into a full-size car, and that was my initiation into racing. And so it took me a while to really learn. A lot of the kids growing up these days, they learn how to race in quarter midgets, and they learn how to, differentiate between, slick track, whether track day's rubber, and they learn how to do all that at a young age, where I never had that. So it took me a couple of years to really kind of learn that. And, I really focused on just trying to learn the best I could from people, and I wouldn't be afraid to go to people and ask for advice, and, what do I do with this, and what do I do on this surface, and, I think that helped me out a lot. Just having, really close friends, that are great in the sport. I like a Don Buffalino, or I could go up to a Ryan Godown, or whoever else, a Billy Pouch Jr., whoever I needed for advice, I can go up to them, and they would be the first ones to help me. And, the last few years here, we've really been on a good roll, and, this is a great year for us, and hopefully it continues down the road.
Yeah, but the thing that you haven't forgot is you haven't forgot how to have fun. I've seen you away from the racetrack, and we've all had fun together. You know what I mean? That's what you haven't forgot. So many people forget that this is supposed to be fun, and we're supposed to have a good time. And, you look on some of the pages, and you look on Facebook, and they're hating everybody. And it's just, that ain't what it's about, man. You're supposed to go there and have a good time and have fun. And I've watched you do that over the years. Your dad definitely knows how to have fun, because we used to have fun with Richie Cass and them guys when we were younger. And it just to see it go full circle and see what you're becoming. You're only going to get better, man. You're going to be like fine wine. You're going to get better. This is the first one. Like I told you when you won your first feature, the first one's always the hardest. The second one will come easier, and it has. This is your first championship. You're going to get another one, and hopefully by the time you get the other one, I'll be standing right there with you talking to you.
Yeah, I hope so. That'd be great. It was definitely missed you there this year. It was definitely different. I really hope that I can go out and win more. Every year at the beginning of the year, I say, I say I'm not going to run for points this year, and then I get mad or something. Like the beginning of this year is a perfect example. We went out there opening night, and I was leading the feature, and we broke. So I ended up 24th in the standings, and I said, well, my year's shot. You know what I mean? And then you get angry, and then you finish the next week, you go out, and we won, and then you're like, well, maybe we're not going to be so bad. And then it's really people don't realize, like, no matter what division you run, how hard it is to go for a championship, because you have to be so consistent. And when you have a division that's constantly a full field of 24 to 35 cars in and out every week, you know what I mean? There's so much that can happen, and it's starting 8th and 9th in a heat race every week and having to work your way into a handicap spot, and then you work your way into a handicap spot, and then you got to start 15th every night, 13th or 14th, and then work your way to the front. It's incredibly hard, and people don't realize like how hard it is. So, when you can get to like the level where you run consistent, you put more pressure on yourself, and you just expect yourself to do good. And I've got a lot of really good competitors in the crate division. Just because we're in a sportsman car doesn't mean that we don't have talent. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Racing is so expensive these days that I can buy 8 crate motors for the price of 1 spec motor. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I wish that was an exaggeration, but it's not.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And like you said, with the experience, Zach never had that experience either, because he never ran quarter mid-strength. He was just starting to get to where he was comfortable, and then he moved to North Carolina because of his job. And then we knew that you needed a motor, and he said, he's got a chance to win the points, Uncle Nick. Andy talked to me, we're going to give him the motor. And then when you went out there and won with that motor, he was like, I knew that the motor was good. I always knew that the motor could get the job done. He was so happy that you won with that motor, because now he knew that if he had the experience you had, he probably would have won with that motor in his car.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, the way Zach came into his own over the last 2-3 years, or however, he didn't race a long time. And, I mean, it took me at least 3 years to really start to figure out things. And I know he hopped in just like I did, just get your feet wet in a full-size car, and that's probably the hardest thing to do, because with the quarter midgets, when you grow up with them, I mean, you're racing in smaller fields, and you have the schools, and they take you time to learn. Well, when you go out there in a full-size car, they don't care who you are. You're racing against grown men when you're a 16, 17-year-old kid, and they don't care who you are. They just want you out of the way because they're going for it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it can get really intimidating really fast, and you kind of that's going to determine, I feel like, your future success for when you sit there and you say, well, this could really affect me and this is going to intimidate me, or you say, well, you know what, they all started here once too, and I just need to keep at it.
Well, I congratulate you on your championship. It's not going to be your last one. I appreciate you calling the show. I knew that you would, and my only regret is that wasn't there to celebrate that with you, but that'll come in time, trust me. And I appreciate you being on the show, Rod. Enjoy it, because they come too far in between. You know what I mean?
Yep. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother. I love you. You know that.
Yep. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right, buddy. Thanks, bud.
All right. Thank you. See you.
Yep.
So I guess maybe we should be taking a break right about now, huh?
Yeah. Steve's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, quit talking. Sorry, Steve.
Sorry, Steve.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
93% of Pennsylvanians killed in a car crash while unbelted could have survived if they just buckled up. One simple click, a second of your time. It's the difference between making it home to your loved ones or not making it home at all. Whether you're a driver or a passenger, make the life-changing choice to wear a seatbelt every drive, every time. It's not just the law, it's common sense. Buckle up, PA. Learn more at penndot.pa.gov/safety.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Sandy's Beef and Ale has been serving famous hand-carved roast beef sandwiches since 1967. Sandy's Beef and Ale is located in the Woodburn Square Shopping Center next to the Oxford Valley Mall. Stop in anytime for not only the roast beef sandwiches, but also the patty, the tailgater, and the Cuban. Family and friends have been coming to Sandy's Beef and Ale since 1967. 2028 Old Lincoln Highway, the home of the hand-carved sandwich.
Experience the spirit of giving when you enter Flowers by Jenny Lynn. Whether it's for a wedding, a birthday, or just an I'm thinking of you, Flowers by Jenny Lynn has the perfect gift. Feast your eyes on the bright hues of the season in their fresh flower department. They also carry a wide variety of flowers daily from around the world, including tropical flowers, wildflowers, roses, and seasonal floral mixes for every taste. Flowers by Jenny Lynn also carries unique gifts like gourmet jams, candies, and cookies. Serving the area for over 25 years, Flowers by Jenny Lynn is your Fairless Hills florist. Stop by their beautiful shop to see for yourself, located at 100 Trenton Road in Fairless Hills, or check them out online at flowersbygennylynn.com. Give them a call today at 1-800-547-4551. The number again is 1-800-547-4551. Flowers by Jenny Lynn, the art of fresh flowers.
Is your home sad, lonely, and depressed? Feeling like the last house on a dead-end road? Your home may be suffering from muddy gutter syndrome. A simple call to the Delaware Valley Gutter Monkeys is the first step in the solution to muddy gutter syndrome, a medically recognized condition. Millions of homes suffer in silence from this disease, but now there's help. Break this silence and call the Delaware Valley Gutter Monkeys at 215-942-9200.
Give us a call and we'll professionally clean and repair your gutters. We'll make sure your whole roof drainage system is functioning properly and give your home our 10-point topside inspection. Visit us at DelawareValleyGutterMonkeys.com or call 215-942-9200 and we'll return your call the very same day.
Gutter cleaning by the Delaware Valley Gutter Monkeys may result in bright smiles, excessive happiness, joyous lawn dancing, and overzealous celebration. On rare occasions, cartwheels and backflips have occurred. A Delaware Valley Gutter Monkey treatment is safe for women who are pregnant or trying to become pregnant. Gutter cleaning may not be right for everyone. Only people whose homes who actually have gutters.
Visit us at DelawareValleyGutterMonkeys.com.
No monkeys were harmed in the making of this commercial.
We return here on a Wide Open Wednesday. Once again, here are your hosts, Fred Fletcher and Nick Leach.
All right, we got somebody on the line, but we're going to get through some of these events that happened over the weekend. Of course, the modifieds at most tracks were off because of the Grandview 76 are one of the most prestigious races that you could be in. Fred will cover that when I'm done here. The Danny's Pizza Pizzazz modifieds were off at Bridgeport. The Iceless Crate Sportsman was won by Matt Peck, and he's liable to be on this show next week. The URC Sprint Cars were won by Ryan Taylor. Gary Kleincheck won the Street Stocks, and the Four Cylinders were won by Eric Digler. The modifieds were off at New Egypt, of course. The 602 Crate Sportsman were won by Steve Davis. Mick DiAgostino won the new Sprint Cars. The Street Stocks was won by Johnny Carpenter. The Four Cylinders, Justin Dunn, and Buddy Swivens, who will be on this show next week also, won the 305 Sprint Cars.
He's a big runner.
Yeah, he's a really good runner. And Kate lined him up for us, so we'll be talking to him next week. Fred, who do you got?
All right, Grandview over at Bechtelsville was Freedom 76. That's the big modified show. And it was taking the TP Trailer NASCAR Modified. It was won by Alex Yankowski, who is one heck of a runner. He's a great young kid. I talked to him a little bit in the pits at New Egypt when he ran there a couple years ago. Just BSing with him. Great kid. And also TP Truck Equipment NASCAR Sportsman was Logan Watt, another great young kid out there, young gun. Babs Motor Speedway over in York Haven was rained out. And at Wall Stadium, Earl touched on it a little bit earlier, but the Wall Modifieds were run by Andrew Krause. Limited late models were Pat Brown. Factory stock was Bob Anderton. The Sportsman was Zach Leonardo, and Fast Fours were Alonzo Morales.
Alonzo's been around. He raced at New Egypt a couple times.
I thought that name sounded familiar.
Then he went back to the asphalt.
Mm-hmm.
They got a good field of four cylinders here on the asphalt. Now we have a caller.
Who is?
And Stevie will put him in. And I call this guy Big Country because he's a bigger guy. He makes me feel good when he wins because I'm a bigger guy. And it just shows me that big guys can get it done. And this guy definitely got it done this year at New Egypt Speedway. He's the four-cylinder champion. Kyle Hurley we have on the line. What's up there, Big Country?
What's happening?
Well, what's happening is you, man. I mean, you started the year off with a vengeance, man. You decided that you were going to go for it. And you got a lot of wins, and you won the championship, and Ryan won the championship. I know all you guys hang out together and have a good time. We were talking about good times, and I'll tell you what, you got it made, dude. Your life is living. You got a hot girlfriend. You got a championship. They got the booty shorts going on. You got it going, man.
Oh yeah, it's this season we started out running. Last year we had a couple good runs and we had a couple rough nights, and we ended up just missing the championship by like 2 or 3 points to Doug Ashford, and that lit a fire under me. So I was like, you know what, this year we're going for it, and we made it work.
Yeah, you definitely made it work. I mean, I'm an underdog guy, so I kind of, I felt for you because I know how hard you work, and I know how hard Brianna worked, and for her, when she got her first heat win and I got a chance to interview her and do that was a special moment for me, just like it was for her. I mean, you got to feel pretty good winning your first championship, man.
Yeah, I mean, it still hasn't really sank in yet, but it's really cool, and I couldn't be happier that with everyone that we did have there, they got to see it. And it's been, even though it's been a good year, it's been a rough year on a lot of us. We lost Bill Leach, and we lost Claude Edwards. They were all real tight with us, and
right.
There was a lot of other people we wish could have been there, but very good that we got to get it done.
Well, I told you today when I talked to you on the phone before I gave you the number to call here how much I wished I could have been there. A lot of the good things were taken away there, and that was one of them. I mean, I would have loved to have been standing right there interviewing you, doing what we're doing. I mean, who do you want to thank? I mean, I know a lot of people helped you out. I know Brianna, of course, is your number one fan, and you got winning a championship is something that you work hard at all year long, not just at the racetrack, but off the racetrack, too. Who do you want to thank?
Oh, yeah. I mean, first and foremost, my parents, my family, Brianna, her family, they're there every single weekend helping out and throughout the week and doing what we can. And, I have some good sponsors, and one of them, Essential Dog Training. They're down in Lacey. John and Tasha, I couldn't do anything without them. That's whose garage I would take the car to.
Right.
If I need to do anything. And, drop of a hat, they're the best people,
Cool.
Really couldn't do anything without them.
Right.
We got Town and Country Veterinary Services. They've been great to us, too. Saccone Farms in Jackson. Color Me Mine in the Freehold Mall. Highline, Brad, he's a great dude as well. I mean, he used to run the wingless sprint division, Brad
right.
Jolly.
Yeah, yep.
And, yep, that's my dude.
Now, what do you do for a living when you're not racing? What do you do?
So I'm a diesel mechanic.
There you go.
Hey,
I do a little bit of everything.
See, I should have called you Big Daddy Diesel then.
Yeah, it's not Big Country anymore.
That's what they call me at Maple Grove. They call me Big Daddy Diesel when I do the truck show. But that's cool. That's cool that you're a diesel mechanic. And when I talked to Brianna earlier, she said, he's probably sleeping. Just leave him a message and he'll get back to you. And I didn't mean not to get back to you today, but when I see a number come up on my phone that I don't recognize, I think it's a bill collector, so I just exit it. And then when you texted me, I said,
I do the same thing.
But no, I mean, it's pretty cool to see you win the championship and do what you did this year. You got to be pretty happy. What advice would you give someone aiming to win their first championship in any division?
In any division.
Or just yours. You could just say in your division.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be afraid to try new things. Certain things people tell you, they might not always be in your best interest. I'm not saying that like people are trying to lie to you and tell you the wrong things, but everybody's different. What works for A, B, and C won't work for you. So you just got to think outside the box and don't be afraid to try new things. And once you figure it out, work off of that, because it's just like for us, there's only so many things you can change.
Right.
And a lot of it is, seat time too.
Right.
Or you can't beat the crap out of yourself if you've only raced for half a season.
Right.
Because it took me 3 seasons before I even got, my first heat race win.
Right.
And I didn't grow up racing. I rode quads and dirt bikes, but
right.
I started this late. And
right.
Coming in, it was
right.
It was, oh man, I know I should be doing better. What am I doing wrong?
Right.
Came down to seat time.
Right.
I wasn't afraid to go, because I run normally at New Egypt. I wasn't
right.
afraid to go to Bridgeport, or go down to Delaware, run with those guys.
Right.
Run Turkey Derby, just
right.
No,
you got it now. I mean, you're going really, really good, and Justin Dunn's, one of them competitors that you kind of gauge yourself off of, because them guys are fast, and he came back the middle of the year and started winning races and stuff. But you guys hang right there with him. You end up winning the championship and doing what you got to do. Well, just keep up the good work. Hopefully next year I'll get to see you more often. I'll be there in October for the Legends of the Fall race, so I'm sure I'll get to see you and give you a big hug and congratulate you on your championship, brother.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it, and it's not the same without you and Dina there.
I appreciate it, man, and thank you very much, and I miss you guys as much as you miss me. So take care of yourself. Give Brianna a big hug and a kiss for me, bro, and congratulations on your championship. Thanks for calling.
All right. Thanks again, Nick.
All right, brother. No problem. You got it. We taking another break there, Steven?
Yeah.
All right. Stone Cold says we got to take a break. Guess what? We take a break or we get a Stone Cold Stunner.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455. Are you a parrot head?
Wasted away again in Margarita.
Not that kind. That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Are you curious what old antiques, collectibles, or household contents are worth? Listen Friday mornings for What's It Worth with Mike the Appraiser right here on 1490 WBCB.
Need a perfect lunch or dinner spot? Johnny Longhots at 545 South Oxford Valley Road is your one stop for any sandwich your heart desires. Specialties like the hot South Philly cutlet, Johnny's Super Cooper, or Nana's meat pie steak, or classics like the Italian roast pork and many other Italian hoagie options. Call today, 267-202-6009. That's 267-202-6009. And never go hungry again, because everything is better with Longhots. Johnny Longhots, 545 South Oxford Valley Road in Fairless Hills.
We're back here on a Wide Open Wednesday. Once again, here are your hosts, Fred Fletcher and Nick Leach.
All right, real quick, I got to thank a sponsor that I keep forgetting to thank every week after week after week.
You're fired.
I know. It's ever since we started this show, I've never brought this guy up once. I don't know. This show is brought to you mostly in part by Fletcher's Garage.
Oh, that guy.
That guy.
Yeah, yeah, you got to mention him or we're done. What's the matter with you?
Yeah, I'm telling you. So, over 480 Hood Boulevard. Just stop on over. We're booking up until October and get those inspections done for October, November, and December. And get them done early. Don't wait till the very last end. So, give us a call. Give Kelly a call. She's always fun to talk to. 215-295-4931. All right, now I got that.
And I was over there, and you can't get a parking spot over there. Great prices, great mechanics over there, good people. You need to go over there and check them out.
And when it's welcome, I just hired a new technician that starts on Monday.
There we
just
go.
Hired him today, and I'm really excited about having him on. He's actually very versed in German cars, which is a nice. Takes some of the load off of me because I don't like German cars. So
all right, we gotta go through our track champions here real quick. Billy Pouch Jr., track champion at Bridgeport Speedway in the modified division. Winning the sprint cars, Brian Spencer, Ethan Bill, who we're going to probably have on the show next week. Nick Sandone is the street stock champion. Four-cylinder champion was Lee Allen. We go to New Egypt. Ryan Godown, of course, was the champion. We talked to Ryan Simmons. He was the champion in the crates. Mick DiAgostino, we'll try and get a hold of him over Heidi Hedden. Heidi finished second. I know Fred's a big fan of hers. And Brian Ludwig by 1 point over Corey Fleming. And Corey Fleming had 5 feature event wins. And then, of course, we just talked to Kyle Hurley.
Yep. And then Wall Stadium. This is going to go quick. Brian Doyle wanted the limited late models, and all the others, the ATQ MRAs,
are
TQ
yet
midgets,
to be determined.
They're all yet to be determined. INEX Legend cars, Fast Four, Sportsman, Factory Stocks, and Modifieds are all TPD.
All right, now we have a caller on the line that I've been, bugging him for weeks to come on here, but he's been so busy, and he threw his back out, so maybe we can get him to go to Sage Chiropractic.
There you go.
And get his back done. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ringo's Rocket, Ryan Godown. Ryan, what's going on, brother?
What's happening? How you guys doing?
Good. We're doing everything we can here to keep the sport alive and promote it, and you're getting ready for the big races at the end of the year, right?
Awesome, yes. We got a busy schedule here next month.
I seen your guys mounting up a lot of Hoosier tires. I mean, right? Are the Hoosier tires an advantage or a disadvantage? Would you rather run something different, or you just got to do what you got to do?
For us guys that run American races every week, the Hoosiers are it's not that disadvantage. You have to run the race car totally different.
Right.
It's not very forgiving. You get sideways, you got to wait till the next corner to grab some bites. So got to keep the car real straight, and it throws the setup a little off because now you actually got to turn in on the right front and be able to turn in off the rear.
Now, Rye, you've won 6 championships at New Egypt Speedway. And this championship you won by 16 points over the Grasso brothers, who are young and up and coming. You've been there. You've done that. So how do you maintain your motivation to keep winning and doing this all these years? You're now considered a veteran. You're not a young gun anymore. These guys are trying to come up behind you, and a lot of times they don't have no respect for a guy named Ryan Godown. How do you handle that?
Listen, a lot of them do. They really, they're all nice guys. All the up-and-coming kids, you try to help them like a Paul Mancini. I try to keep them guys in the right direction. And listen, we need the young and up-and-coming keep the sport alive. And so I could do what I always can to help people out and try to get them in the right direction,
Now, speaking of championships, is there any specific championship that you've won that means the most to you?
I don't know. It's like they all mean a lot, right? It's not one is more, but I think the first one is always the hardest one to get, right? That's the one to get you over the hump. So that was probably the happiest I've ever been on a champion. Not saying I'm never happy on any of them, but when you work hard for that first one, and you remember the first one, Nick, you were there.
Yep.
We had a lot of veterans there, and that was tough. You had to, we all know who was there, so it gets to be week in and week out. It was hard, and to see John Schmedlin get a championship was awesome, and obviously he helped me out, and probably wouldn't be where I am today without John.
Now, speaking of John, the race is coming up that we honor John. That's going to be a big deal for you. Now, I talked to Billy. Billy was on the show. He won a championship at Bridgeport. He won one at New Egypt. You've done the same thing. I can't even imagine you two guys racing at Flemington. What would you? It would have been pretty cool to race at Flemington, don't you think, Rye?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, obviously, I grew up there, just like probably little Billy did, and
right.
I was I was a baby underneath the grandstands playing in the dirt
Right.
with my Uncle Stan. And, that's what got us into this whole mess of racing our whole life, is going to races like that. So, to watch it, we were just a few years late to be able to race on the dirt. We see some asphalt stuff happen there, but just to be able to run dirt around there, and I remember, man, that was some cool stuff. Just a totally different configuration of racetrack than anything you can ever imagine.
Right. Now you're prepping for the end of the year shows, the big shows. Your main goal is probably the Super Dirt Week deal.
Yeah, we got New Egypt this weekend, which is obviously All-Star Cup 2 nights, and then we got next week is Oswego. We're going to run a 358 show and a big block show. And we usually don't do that, but we just want to get a little bit more track time because usually by Sunday we could figure it out. So we're thinking if we can get this 358 going and the way the schedule is running, by feature time on big block on Saturday night now, we at least have a little bit better info on the car and maybe the driver can get his act together.
Come on, man. Driver get his act together. You've had your act together for a while. I mean, you've mellowed out a little bit in the past couple of years. I've seen you be a little more aggressive than you usually are. I've seen you try and pick and choose some stuff that I've never seen Ryan go down do before. I mean, you can still get it done, right? If the car is halfway decent, I've seen you get it done. The rivalry between you and Pouch Sr. at New Egypt was second to none. That's what people came to pay their money for. That's what the people stole their brother's lunch money for, to watch you and Pouch. That sold a lot of tickets at New Egypt, man.
Yeah, I just, I don't look at any of that stuff. My drive when you strap in with a helmet on is still to win races. I mean, you consider mellow, I consider mellow. Maybe I won't go for that hole, and maybe I'll wait for another corner to go for that hole. That's just what I try to do now, and I think that was the year I ran the Dirt Series. Just taught me a lot about, you don't got to win it in the first 10 laps. You have all race to win it.
Yep. Well, get yourself ready. Do what you got to do. I'll be sitting in my recliner watching you on TV, and make us proud. You always make me proud. I know my brother Kenny is looking down on you and smiling, and I know Dina's listening now, and she's been waiting for you to call to get on the show and for me to talk to you. I talk to you during the week. You're a good friend of mine. You've always been good to me, Rye. You've always supported me in everything that I've done, and I appreciate it, and I miss being there with you and sharing some of that stuff with you.
Yeah, what's good is every time I went down to New Egypt and sometimes I sit with Mark Yapel up there in the stands, and we always tell everybody that one of my friends that I bring, like, watch this guy, in about 7 laps he'll be right up front. No matter where you start. So It's always great to watch you run, Ryan.
Well, Ryan.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know this year wasn't, like that. I had some track condition problems and some other problems, but, we'll be ready to go next year. We already got some stuff in the works, and, we just fell a little behind on the setups and stuff this year, and it just we had to revamp it over the last 3 weeks, and we're getting better. We're making big strides, so hopefully we get back here in the next month, and he's saying obviously we want to win races, but if we could run in the top 3 and really do good at races, then when you get top 3s, then the wins come after.
All right, well, good luck where you're going and what you're doing, and I'll probably see you at Motorsports, and we'll talk then.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys.
No problem, Ryan. Thanks for calling. We appreciate it, buddy.
That's the legend, Ryan Godown. I always say that every time I took somebody down there. It was like, watch this guy. In a couple laps, he'll be right up front, and he never disappointed. Always was a good run.
The battles between Pouch Senior and him, and Little Billy too, and there was no lack of talent at New Egypt in them years. I mean, there were some heavy hitters there, and for him to win races and win championships and do what he's done. Ryan's won a lot of races and a lot of championships, and a lot of people didn't like him, and now it's turning. He's got a lot of fans now. A lot of people support him, and it's good for the sport. It's really good for the sport. So.
I've always been a fan, so yeah.
Yeah, I in the position that I was in, I had to like them all.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when I was younger, Billy Pouch Sr., I was a fan of Billy Pouch Sr., you know, and I'm a fan of Billy Pouch Jr., but I'm kind of a fan of them all. I'm an underdog guy. I like to see a guy that works hard, and like Ryan Simmons and Kyle Hurley, they're my kind of guys. I like to see the people that work hard and win championships. It's just that way. Now, this weekend, he said the All-Star Cup shootout at New Egypt. That's a Friday, Saturday type deal. We got the Danny Serrano weekend coming up at Bridgeport on the 4th and the 5th. And then Sportsman Nationals at Bridgeport on the 11th and the 12th. Rain date is October 13th. Ron Faison 305 Race Saver Nationals on the 18th and 19th. The Dirty Jersey finale at Bridgeport. Bridgeport's got a lot of big things coming up. Yeah, and like the All-Star, like I said, the All-Star Cup shootout at New Egypt, that's a 2-day deal. And yeah, there's a lot of good things happening. Still a lot of racing left, gang. So support your local racetracks. Do what you got to do. You know, wherever you go on vacation, try to find out where there's a local racetrack. That's what we're trying to do. I spent the weekend at Maple Grove for the Keystone Trucking Nationals. It was a cool event. If you get a chance to come next year, it's usually right after the national event that they have. Come check it out. If you're into big trucks and you're a truck enthusiast, you need to check out the Keystone Trucking Nationals. And yours truly is behind the microphone. We have a blast. And now with the burnout contest, it even makes it more interesting. And, you know, we got sponsors now. And we appreciate them. So, yeah, Baps Motor Speedway's got some stuff going on. The Kart Classic on October 5th. And they got some Legends stuff going. The Kevin Gobrecht Classic, which is $10,000 on October 26th. Kate's got everything here, man.
Let's see where the vintage cars are.
All right, Kate, you got to find out where all the vintage stuff is for next year.
Next year, I'll be making some shows out there.
Fred will be making some shows. He'll have some fat guy on the microphone following him around. That'll be me. So, but yeah, I mean, this is really going to take off, gang. Wide Open Wednesday is going to be at Motorsports. Kate made that big announcement for us, so we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I was talking to Earl during the week about Motorsports. He's really jazzed up about us being there, and I'm really, really excited to get there and show off my car a little and
and don't forget
get some interviews
tomorrow. America's Mechanic from 9 to 9:30 right here on WBCB, and then the Need for Speed. And I'm sure Earl's going to call. I'm sure I'm going to call, and you know, keep you up to speed on everything that's happened. Fred will go over some of the stuff that we've already went over. But without you guys, we couldn't do this. Don't be afraid to call in. Don't be afraid to text
please, I
me.
love callers.
Don't be afraid to send a message to Wide Open Wednesday's Facebook page. We have a Facebook page now, Wide Open Wednesday. Put your pictures on there. Put whatever you want. If you have a suggestion for the show before the show comes on a Wednesday, put it on the Wide Open Wednesday page. We'll look at it. We'll do your question right on the air. You don't have to. If you're afraid to call us, don't be afraid to call us.
Yeah.
Steve's not scary. He's into wrestling, but he's not scary. He'll take your call, put you on the air, and we'll have a conversation. We'll have a good old time.
Yeah, that Facebook page that Kate set up with Wide Open Wednesday, man, trying to keep up with her on it is a job. And she posts so much stuff. There's so much good information on that Wide Open Wednesday Facebook page, and I have the Need for Speed Facebook page, and we share all that stuff between all of our pages. Nick's page, my page, Kate's page. We all just go back and forth. Warren's page. And there's just a lot.
Kate's on the vintage stuff already. She just texted me. She goes, I'm on it. Copy that.
So I can't wait to get my car out next year.
100 shows next year, Fred. You better get some body parts and some
I'm going to have to hit Sage Chiropractic to get my back straight all the time.
Yep. We're going to have to get a couple drivers for Fred's car, so when he can't do it.
Yeah.
He'll be working overtime to pay for the parts and everything else.
The car looks good. I can't wait till I get a letter.
It's not the first 10, it's the 10 after.
Yeah, not the first 10. It's the 10 every week after that. So, but yeah, so the car looks good. I can't wait to get Bruce Bowen out to letter it up. He contacted me this week. He'll hopefully be out tomorrow or Friday. If not, we'll do it next week.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
it'll be ready.
We're ready. I'm ready. You got the car. The car looks cool. It's going to look even better. We're going to get some T-shirts made, and I'm going to have Fred out there signing autographs. I'm going to make Fred a star, man. It's going to be cool. Not? Yeah, absolutely.
We'll do that for each other now.
You're already a star, so, we're going to make you a bigger star, and then we'll bring Stone Cold out.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to meet Stone Cold. Well, hey, radio
It'll be
celebrities.
like, who is this Stone Cold that you speak
Yeah,
of?
who's this Stone Cold that you speak of? Yeah, you got to go to Johnny Longhots when he's picking up his lunch. You meet Stone Cold. My niece, that's all she talked about. It's Stone Cold. I said, yeah, well, you know. He's the man at the controls. If he screws up, we're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
So,
He hasn't screwed up yet. We're good.
We appreciate Steve. We appreciate
WBCB.
Kate, Warren, WBCB. Without them, this is pretty neat to be back on the radio again. And we had a great show tonight. We want to thank
great
Ryan
callers.
Godown, Ryan Simmons, Kyle Hurley. We want to thank Bobby Drayton's Portable Toilet Service.
Sage Chiropractic.
Sage Chiropractor, Maple Grove. Mr. Bob's on the job, and so are we. So all of us here at Wide Open Wednesday, we thank you for your support. Keep it up, and we'll keep supporting you, local racing. Thanks for everything, guys. Thanks, Fred.
Thank
Puss and Boots Tavern on Trenton Road in Fairless Hills is better than ever. Sit down, relax on their outdoor patio, and try their award-winning burgers and sandwiches. Visit their takeout store for all of your favorite takeout. And it's not just food. You can also stock up on beers, soda, cigars, snacks, and a variety of convenience items. Call 215-295-8236 to place your order or have them host your next party or affair. Get out and enjoy the summer weather today at Puss and Boots Tavern.
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix